She said, no, I just ask questions. I said, you have your answer there. As unless and until the child doesn't know how to express herself through you, how will she? You have to model, right? How will she learn all by herself? She may feel sad, she may feel unhappy about something, she may feel excited about something, but she can only express it when she knows how to express it. And that comes from parents, that comes from the adults that are there in the environment. So, yeah, it makes so much sense that modeling is critical for every adult, every parent that has a young child around them. We generally say, right, children's relationship with their parents undoubtedly influence their development, right? Be it social functioning or their school achievement or their mental health, anything is directly linked with how their relationship or their bonding is with their parents. So, what can parents do to build that kind of connection when you're saying kind and firm kind of connection with the child? So, how do a parent do that?
Well, many parents are doing this so beautifully, right? Creating routines, spending time. Nowadays, this is a little bit different than when I was raising my children. We didn't have cell phones. So that's the first thing. So we tend to be like, yes, honey, but connecting, really just connecting and spending that time, having story time, right? And telling stories, not just from sometimes the books, but just from our past experience. Storytelling is one of the greatest way, and modeling. So in positive discipline, we speak about modeling children, as we know, 0 to 3 in Montessori, we speak about the unconscious absorbent mind. Children are picking up all the information from their environment. Yeah. And 3 to 6, they connect with this information. So when they're watching and learning, their mirror neurons are firing and they're just watching and mimicking. Modeling is the first thing. Modeling the behavior we want and breaking things down age appropriately and just showing them. It's all about, you remember this excitement, as you know, the toddler's like, I do it, me do it. And that goes on till 6. And then hopefully we're not saying, no, that they just stop asking, but we're saying, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Maybe we can do it now or later. Or what do you think? And asking them what they think, including them in just day to day. That's one of the ways that I think we can create some of that resiliency, mutual respect, and encouragement, which is what positive discipline is all about.
Yeah, I can so well relate to it. In fact, recently I had this parent, she called me and we were talking about her child, and she was saying that my daughter, she is very less expressive. Even though we talk, she has vocabulary, but when it comes to expressing herself in right words, she finds it very difficult. So this is what I was asking her. Do you share your emotions with her? Do you talk to her? She said, no, I just ask questions. I said, you have your answer there. As unless and until the child doesn't know how to express herself through you, how will she? You have to model, right? How will she learn all by herself? She may feel sad, she may feel unhappy about something, she may feel excited about something, but she can only express it when she knows how to express it. And that comes from parents, that comes from the adults that are there in the environment. So, yeah, it makes so much sense that modeling is critical for every adult, every parent that has a young child around them.
Yeah, and children are making beliefs, right, about themselves, about the world, and everything around them. So, I am, others are, the world is. So at this time, their experiences are so limited. And you're right. It's like, I'm feeling frustrated. So frustration is the word that we often use. Yeah. But what's really below that frustration? We can go to the sad, mad, and glad. But when we can expand that, like other parts of the word, sad, yeah. Are you disappointed? Are you exhausted and tired? Or are you feeling that you're hungry? Like those are all ways to get to the feeling. So what is it that you're feeling? And when they have that feeling, you're so right. We're able to have the child, when you name it, you tame it. We've all heard it. So when the child is able to express themselves, and when they can't, how, when we can't express ourselves, how do we feel? I know that I have hearing loss, and sometimes when I can't hear, my forehead gets crinkled and I'm like really intense. How can children express some of these emotions or find different ways to communicate with us that they want to share? And they sometimes share that through behavior, and then we want to stop the behavior. And in positive discipline, we're always looking at problem solving and doing this in a mutually respectful way and non-punitive way.
Yeah, that's also one of the interesting thing, that one of the parent behavior that often is considered detrimental for this parent-child relationship, and for their healthy development is the physical punishment that is awarded or whatever to them. Um, how do a parent deal with a difficult situation if they themselves are under stress or anxiety, or they themselves feel frustrated? In such situations, how do you think that parents can, deal with their child when they are also out of control? I mean, as per the parents, out of control. How do you think they can, help the child over there?
So without elaborating too much about it, Dr. Daniel Siegel speaks about brain in the palm of the hand, right? So the lower brain, the flight, fight, freeze, the emotions, that the amygdala, and then the cortex is the brain model, and frontal cortex, this is where critical thinking happens, and then the cortex. But when our buttons get pushed, what happens? Raw emotions. So what do we need to do to get, and we call this the flip lid, but if we, in order to calm and gather and connect and really connect our frontal cortex, what do we need to do, right? We as parents have to take care of ourselves. Being able to maybe exercise or finding a way to walk away from that situation. Because one of the things that I loved in one of the other trainings I had heard is, well, this is the reptilian brain. And what did the reptiles do to their young? Well, this is not probably the best time to solve problems with our children or teach them a lesson, right? So we might need to come to hear. And for me, it's really important to have routine for myself and then helping our children have that sense of order is happening, right? So they're going through, they need to have everything in certain order to be able to feel calm. Yeah. And I think adults, we need routines. We need to be able to have time to myself, may it be a bath or a walk. And when we come and gather and show our children that we do that, or in the problem situation with a problem and we're flip lid, maybe we can teach them by modeling how we take that time in, right? We call it time out or time in. Dr. Jane Nelson has written a book it's called Jared's Cool Out Space. And it speaks about how do you create a space in your home or in your classroom. And it's a really humorous book. And it shares some of the steps on doing that. So for children to know, so mom can say, you know what, right now, I'm really upset and I love you. I can't talk right now, but I'll be back. Or do you want to create a space? And when the child feels really upset, they have a choice. Or this something like online, and you could put pictures because toddlers are not able to read quite yet. And you can say, count till 10, or, like blow 5 times, like as fingers, like, and breathe in. So maybe we can do that. What other ideas do you have? What do you want to do when you're upset? Maybe we can have a water bottle with some oil and color, shake it up and look at it. Or what are some of the things that you want to have? How are you going to regulate? And when they're upset, they can even flip this little thing, and wherever it lands, they can choose it or choose one of those options to calm. And parents could say, oh, if you don't want to do that, maybe I'll do that. I think I'm going to breathe. And that's modeling, right?